Good to see you braving the heat and getting out there just about every day to check out Alabama football camp. So I'm going to leave it wide open to you before I pin you down on any specifics in regards to what has stood out to you in the sessions you've taken in.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the first thing right now, everybody's talking about the quarterback race, the quarterback conversation between Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, and Tyler Buckner. That is not going to go away between now and probably the first couple of games of the season. Alabama had its first scrimmage of fall camp on last weekend. Jalen Milroe, I was told, looked the best of the three. Looked like he has really polished up some things, tweaked up some things in the passing game. Had a couple of nice touchdown passes, a couple of really good touchdown drives to where he sat in the pocket, he scanned the field, he found guys with ease. But what Coach Saban wants to see is all three quarterbacks consistently stack good performance on top of each other. He mentioned in yesterday's presser, force me to play you. Force us to play you. It's not about what the coaches feel like. You as the quarterback, you have to take it upon yourself to force us to play you. Go out there and play so well that you leave us no choice but to play you. So we're going to see how does Jalen Milroe, Simpson, and Tyler Buckner take this message here, this challenge, if you will, from Coach Saban to stack more good performances on top of each other to try to pull out, who takes this job. And it looked like from the first scrimmage of fall camp, Jalen Milroe wants to do that. We will see if he continues throughout this week of practice going into this Saturday's scrimmage, which is the big one, because now you're starting to develop, who are going to be your number one guys on the roster, your number 2, 3, 4, and so forth, and starting to develop that depth chart that begins with this scrimmage coming up this weekend.
Folks, we got Stephen M. Smith on the line, Touchdown Alabama, and of course you can join him on his show, In My Own Words. It's right here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's at 6:30 Central Time. 6:30 Central Time is your time to talk Alabama and SEC football with Stephen, In My Own Words. So, Stephen, you mentioned that this may carry into the first few games of the season. So is that just the thought process because it's such a close race, or is there indication by what Saban has had to say or Tommy Rees has had to say that's given strong indication that that's already the plan and that they don't think that they'll be able to choose a starter before then?
I think it's the indication of, trying to see which one of these three really pulls it out. Saban's really big on winning the team, winning everybody in the locker room. We've heard these statements before from him. So for me, it comes down to not only who wins the team, but who has the confidence of everybody that this guy can not only make all the throws, make the right decisions, get us in the right play, but win us football games, most importantly, put us in the best chance, Alabama in the best chance at being to win a national championship. So I think, once again, the second scrimmage coming up this weekend, this will be the big indicator right here, because now with the scrimmage under your belt, guys are going to be playing faster. Guys are going to be playing more free. You're not going to have the coaches necessarily telling you what to do, so you cannot be looking over your shoulders wondering what's the next play. You have to be ready, fast, on cue to the next situation on the field. So this second scrimmage is going to go a long way in determining who gets that first start against Middle Tennessee State on September the 2nd, that Saturday. And then moving forward, who's the guy kind of from start to finish. So I think all of this is going to hinge on Saturday's game-like practice, the second one inside of Bryant-Denny. With a favorite right now, Jackson would be Jalen Milroe at this point. I think he still has the lead right now in terms of his experience going back to last year. And I know people throw darts at him about the game against A&M and the turnovers, but he got that experience. That was valuable experience for him. And he took this offseason. He went down to Florida to work with a personal trainer, if you will. He took some receivers down there with him. So I still think Jalen Milroe has the slightest edge here at this point. Going back to the first scrimmage, he made some strides to pull away from Simpson and Tyler Buckner. But this second scrimmage this weekend is going to be pivotal because this is the big one. This is where the depth chart starts to take shape. This is where Saban really goes into, okay, who's for real, the ones, the twos, and so forth. So this is a big scrimmage here for Milroe, but he's still the favorite here at this point. Grayson McCall, there was a thought back in the offseason of possibly pursuing him in the transfer portal, but it was a thought that did not stick long because I think Saban just really wanted to see, the guys that he already had on the roster, Milroe, Simpson, and even the likes of Dylan Larnigan and Eli Holstein, before bringing in Tyler Buckner, which one of these guys would be kind of that guy that we already have on the roster being developed. So I think that's why Saban did not go in Grayson McCall's area. But at that time, Alabama did not have an offensive coordinator picked out yet because Bill O'Brien had left for the NFL to rejoin Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. So when Saban hit on the OC, that being Tommy Rees from Notre Dame, Tommy Rees says, hey, here's a guy that I coached here in Tyler Buckner. Let's see if we can get him to come in and enhance this competition. And so that's what ended up happening when Alabama found the OC and Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees plays a role in getting in Tyler Buckner to enhance the competition. But right now, the leader in the room is still Jalen Milroe at this point.
And one more time, Stephen, you would not be surprised if there is still a quarterback competition in play when Texas comes to town.
I wouldn't be shocked. It would not shock me one way or another because that's the game where we will see what this Alabama team is. Steve Sarkisian rolls into Tuscaloosa. Quinn Ewers is back. He cut the mullet, so he's back. You know what you're going to get offensively and defensively from an improved Texas bunch who came 1 point from beating Alabama just a season ago in Austin. So that matchup in Tuscaloosa will be the matchup to determine what is this Alabama football team.
And, you bring up the 1 point win in Austin last year, and it goes perfectly along with what you were saying 5 or 10 minutes ago about Bryce Young bailing out this team. You talk about him getting a blitz off the corner from Ryan Watts with about 15 seconds left in the game. And if he doesn't shake off that would-be blitzer and gets sacked at midfield, the game's probably over. But he shakes off the blitzer. He gets loose. He scampers down the sideline for 30-some yards and sets up the game-winning field goal. And that's just a perfect example of Bryce Young bailing out this team multiple times.
It is, and also in that game, Mark, remember, Bama had the ball in the red zone. Bryce Young backing up, buying time, and fires a dart to Jahmyr Gibbs in the back of the end zone, and that was a touchdown. So there were several plays in that game where you chalk it up to a five-star talent with cerebral ability. There's a reason why Frank Reich was like, look, we're going to trade up to number 1 with the Bears, grab that number 1 pick, and take our quarterback and develop for this future that we have here.